And welcome to my video discussion of this week's football game scenario. So we're flying from KMGM to KNEW. This is a 231 nautical mile flight. Depending on the winds, it should take us about 2.5 hours. Fortunately, we have low terrain throughout the flight, and there's also numerous airports available on our route, so we can use their services, restroom, fuel, you name it. You're also seeing Class Delta airports in the vicinity of our route, and they also have tersa capabilities, which means that they'll be able to provide us Class Charlie level traffic avoidance, radar services, and such. Before every flight, we want to run the PAVE checklist. It's going to help us identify risk and see if we are current and proficient. So this checklist includes pilot, aircraft, environment, external pressure. Also, I wish there was passengers in here because we are taking 5 passengers with us. They're our friends, so we want to make sure that they're healthy, they've slept, no one is drunk. We want to make sure everyone is the best that they can in case we need them to help us. So the pilot, we are a commercial pilot, 400 hours of total flight time, 100 hours cross-country time, and 50 hours in the aircraft. We've never been to New Orleans, but we are current and proficient in this aircraft. So I'm going to give the pilot a yellow flag for this, just because we have only 50 hours in this type of aircraft. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking 5 people with me if I've never done that before in this aircraft. The center of gravity is going to be different, the aircraft is going to behave differently. So you want to make sure you've done that before, or at least you've been in that max weight. And also, not being new to Orleans should not be an issue as long as you do your homework and study the charts. So the aircraft is a Cessna 206 equipped with a Garmin G1000, and it's up to date with its all maintenance. This is a very good GA aircraft. It should be able to handle this flight without an issue, and we also have the G1000 that's going to enhance our situational awareness and reduce pilot workload. So the aircraft does get a green flag from me. I feel very comfortable with this aircraft. Environment. We are departing at 1700 local time, which is 22 Zulu, sun setting at about 2030 local time. It gives us about 3.5 hours. It should be more than enough as long as we are not delayed. METARs are showing good VFR weather at departure time. Winds are at 2604. Visibility is 10 statute miles, and the first layer of clouds is a few at 7,000. And the pressure altitude at our departure is going to be standard pressure minus current altimeter setting times 1,000 plus field elevation. That gives us 151 feet. We can use this to run our charts in the POH and make sure that the aircraft is able to handle this. However, the environment at arrival around 030 Zulu or 01 Zulu, it's going to be degrading a bit. We have thunderstorms rolling through the area at about 0200 Zulu. We should be arriving before that. However, if there's a delay or if there's a change in the weather patterns, we need to be mindful of that and check the weather right before we leave. Also, we need to study the chart of our destination airport. We want to make sure we know where the FBO is, what we're expecting as far as taxiing goes. You really want to study those hot spots, and you want to make sure that fuel is also available in case we need it. And we do have sufficient runway of 6,879. We want to use runway 18 right, 36 left. So the arrival airport gets a green flag from me. External pressure, you get a yellow flag for this one. The weather is degrading. We want to make sure that we are not rushing our pre-flight or we are not missing any big items on that list since we are excited about this flight. This can happen even if you're not noticing it. Even if you think you're the best pilot in the world and you're not mindful of your excitement, then you could get yourself in trouble. And also, I think it's very important to stick to personal minimums for such flights. This is no time to change your personal minimums. What you have written down is what you're going to fly with. So this gets a yellow flag for me. So conclusion, we need to proceed with this flight with caution. Proverbs 12:26 says, "One who is righteous is a guide to his neighbor, but the way of the wicked leads them astray." So you want to make sure that you're doing everything properly. You're slowing down, you're having the health and well-being of your passengers and people on the ground in mind. You got to remember that no flight really has to happen. We've seen medical emergency flights get canceled due to weather. We can also make sure we have KGPT filed as our diversion airport or our alternate airport, and also I recommend an instrument flight plan for this flight. Weight and balance calculations are also important since we are almost full. You want to make sure you're taking as much fuel as possible without being over the gross, being over the useful load, and hopefully we have enough fuel to return to the home airport if need be. So this one also gets a yellow flag. So I think this whole flight overall gets a yellow flag from me. We need to proceed with caution. We need to review our charts and try to leave a little bit earlier if possible so we can beat that weather. Here's my references, and thank you very much for listening.